Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Finally back home in Arizona, the Diamondbacks, who lead the league in geography after the last road trip, finally home after crisscrossing the country and set for one of the biggest weekends of the year. Zombie night tonight. It's a Randy Johnson weekend. The Cincinnati Reds are in town, and Chase Anderson is back from the DL. It's the Diamondbacks and the Reds, first at 3 on Fox Sports Arizona. And good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way as we welcome in the Cincinnati Reds, the team that says they are not rebuilding. It's only kind of a reboot. That's what they're using, Bob. But they have some standard players we're used to seeing. Some guys are hitting. Other guys are not. Some are running.
Yeah, it's an interesting-looking team. They've got 5 rookies in the starting rotation, but a very veteran-laden lineup, including some guys that are very familiar to baseball fans all around the league. Billy Hamilton leads the majors in stolen bases. If he gets on, when he gets on, you cannot take your eyes off this guy for one moment.
He's become a much better base runner this year. 51 stolen bases leads the league. Joey Votto, the hottest hitter in baseball since the All-Star break.
Yeah, the same old patient Joey Votto. He'll take his walks. He'll drive the ball in the gaps, but he'll see a boatload of pitches in every game. He's a one-man wrecking crew as far as running up pitch counts.
Well, the argument that maybe the home run derby affects hitters in a negative way, you've got the derby champ Todd Frazier, but he's hitting about 200 since July the 1st.
Yeah, and like every other home run derby champion in the past, they say it has nothing to do with it, but it just seems like more than a coincidence.
And then there's always this guy at the back end.
Yeah, once a year he comes in to make sure the radar gun is working properly and we can hit triple digits. Aroldis Chapman's average fastball over 100 miles an hour.
And rumored to almost be a Diamondback. There were apparently some discussions between the two ball clubs at the trade deadline. Good news, Chase Anderson back from the DL.
Yeah, good to see Chase back. It was clear he needed some time down after his first 13 starts of the season. Things were looking pretty good for Chase Anderson. Low ERA under 3, but over his last 5 starts, the fatigue started to set in. The command disappeared, and the numbers ballooned appropriately. But good to see him back on the mound here tonight.
Now, hopefully a fresher arm for Chase and a break of about 2 weeks or so will help with that fastball command and location. Diamondbacks back from a long road trip. Seattle, Houston, Washington, and then back home. We'll see how the team did on the trip when we come back. Then it's first pitch, the Reds and the D-backs on Fox Sports Arizona. In part by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Mix One, great taste, no face, available at local retailers. And by Arizona Tire Pros, for the best selection of Continental and General brand tires, visit your local Arizona Tire Pros location today.
Welcome back. I'm Kate Longworth coming at you on Zombie Night here at Chase Field. As you saw during Diamondbacks Live, they're back for the second year in a row. The Walking Dead are roaming the ballpark tonight. I had a chance to tour the haunted house set up for tonight's festivities. Obviously, it was a little scary and all, but I made it out all just great. Looking fine, feeling good. And fortunately, I can say the same for the D-backs after their three-city road trip that zigzagged them from Washington State to Washington, D.C., with a stop in Texas in between. Aside from being dead tired, it was a lively trip for the team as the players took some big wins on the field and did some bonding off the field.
I think as a group we're pretty close, and we enjoy each other too. And sometimes you play with a team and you don't, not as close, and the last thing you want to do is go out and hang out with them. But not this team. There's a bunch of good friends in this team that I have, and.
Now, the players were not dead serious with me. They joked a lot about how it was starting to feel like a family vacation. After all, during this month, they spend more time with their teammates than their wives. In fact, Peralta went as far to say that he got coffee and lunch so many times with Ender, it was starting to feel like that was his work spouse. Hey, whatever it takes to build that team chemistry on and off the field to get the D-backs winning. They don't want to feel dead out there. And tonight, it's the same. Arizona going after the win, the hunt to taste victory with Wellington leading the way both behind the plate and at the plate. Did somebody say Beef Wellington? Why is he running?
Cincinnati Reds, 10 games under 500 for the year and 20 games behind the Cardinals for the NL Central lead, and for the first of three here at Chase Field. And your Arizona Ford, starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, it's Chase Anderson. His first start since July 18th, coming off a DL stint with inflammation in his right triceps. His catcher tonight, Wellington Castillo.
It was good for him because, sometimes you got to take that break to prevent longer injuries, I guess, and that rest that he takes is gonna make him better, so and be healthier longer time. So that's gonna be good for him.
Chip Hale said there were some issues with Chase Anderson's triceps, some tightness in there, but he said the main reason the Diamondbacks put him on the DL, as Castillo just mentioned. The rest, a pretty heavy and consistent workload, and he throws strike one to Brandon Phillips.
All part of the learning process for a young pitcher at the major league level, how to pace yourself, knowing when you can maybe extend yourself a little bit farther, when you need to rein it back in a little bit, and Chase still learning his craft here at the major league level.
Bill Miller, the crew chief, is our plate umpire. Phillips 284 and 7 home runs. He's got only 19 extra base hits all season long. He's been something of a singles hitter this year. He bounces one to Nick Ahmed. One away. A lineup for Brian Price and his Cincinnati Reds. They've traded all their pitchers, but they still have their hitters left over.
Still have a lot of position players left over that are very familiar names, including Brandon Phillips, who just grounded out short to lead off the game. Joey Votto at first base. Todd Frazier at third. Jay Bruce out in right field. Veteran Marlon Byrd in left field. Brian Pena doing the catching.
Eugenio Suarez.
Eugenio, that's it. The A at the beginning. Eugenio Suarez. Raisel Iglesias, the pitcher, batting 8th, and Billy Hamilton, the speedster, batting 9th.
As you saw a moment ago, the shift on for Joey Votto, who takes ball one. Finally back home. That was a long trip.
6,200 miles worth.
Votto 308, 19 homers. Watch out early in the count here. He has been baseball's best hitter since the All-Star break. And usually the most patient hitter on the planet, but he's been ambushing some pitchers over the last few weeks. A lot of damage early in the count, but he will not swing until he sees a strike. Jumps on that one and blasts it to center. That's off the wall. A.J. Pollock throws it back in there, and Votto, sure enough, early in the count, it's his 22nd double. Boy, is he hot.
Boy, is he ever hot. Since July 1st, he has the 4th highest batting average in all of baseball. Only Buster Posey, Gerardo Parra, and Eric Hosmer are ahead of Joey Votto in his 379. Got himself in a good hitter's count. Always dangerous against every hitter, but especially a good hitter like Joey Votto.
Well, as hot as Votto has been, Todd Frazier, the home run derby champ, has been that cold. And he'll step in with Votto at second and 1 out. Frazier 261 and 27 home runs, but really slumping right now. Sky high left side. Peralta coming in. 2 down. 1 pitch out for Chase Anderson. Take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively tonight.
David Peralta in left, A.J. Pollock out in center field. Ender Inciarte will be out in right field. Jake Lamb and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield, with Chris Owings and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Wellington Castillo doing the catching for right-hander Chase Anderson.
Left-hander Jay Bruce in there. Bruce had a very slow start to the year, has picked it up lately. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 253, 17 homers for Bruce. He hit 18 home runs all of last year. That is drilled to the right field corner and foul. Second really hard hit ball in this inning against Chase. They got some thumpers in this lineup. There's no question about that.
Boy, especially in their home ballpark, a very dangerous team. A lot of fly ball hitters, a lot of guys that can mishit a ball out of that park in Cincinnati.
But it's allowed. Strike 2, 0-2 now on Bruce. 2 down and Votto at second. Jay Bruce did not get off to a good start this year. He was hitting under 210 in the middle of June. But he's really turned it around lately. Ever since then, hitting over 310, 8 home runs. Has been the Jay Bruce that we've seen in recent years, much more so. And with Joey Votto taking all his walks, as he always seems to do, batting in the 2-hole here. Bruce has been the primary RBI guy. 32 RBIs in his last 41 games. And he's up there with Votto at second. How about that hair, or lack thereof, for Joey Votto?
There's probably a philosophical reason why he shaved his head.
Metrics, hair metrics.
Yeah.
2-2. Doesn't get the call from Bill Miller, and it's full 3-2. Marlon Byrd on deck. He would be next. Really be nice if Chase could strand that one out double here and put a 0 up on the board to start things off. And he does just that. He strikes out Bruce and leaves Votto at second. Just underway. Good to be back home at Chase Field with Chase Anderson. Oh, a little brains in your hot dog maybe on Zombie Night. Diamondbacks finally back home. Winners of 8 of their last 12 and opening up a quick 6-game homestand with a first of 3 against the Cincinnati Reds. In your Arizona Ford starter for the Reds, 25-year-old rookie right-hander Raisel Iglesias, signed by the Reds out of Cuba last year. Got a 7-year, $27 million deal. Tonight, just his 9th big league start.
The Reds really like this young right-hander. Comparisons to El Duque, Orlando Hernandez with a high leg kick. He throws from multiple arm angles. Basically a sinker four-seamer slider combination from Iglesias. But Diamondbacks hitters are going to learn right along with us today. First time anybody's seen this guy.
He has worked primarily as a starter. He was a longtime relief pitcher in Cuba. The Reds are converting him into a starter. And he has gone at least 6 innings in both his 2 previous starts, including a win over the Pirates. That was last Saturday. Ender Inciarte gets the first look, set to lead it off here. Ender, 294 and 3 home runs. And Frazier way in on the grass at third. He's got the El Duque look. He's got the number. And there's that leg kick, or he kind of tucks it in there. El Duque had that thing where he kind of hide behind his knee at the height of that leg kick.
He'd bring that knee all the way up underneath his chin, almost hiding the ball behind it as he pivoted and delivered that ball to home plate.
Seems like he really hides it well.
A high knee kick, chest high. Really keeps his front shoulder closed a long time. That really helps in hiding that baseball.
Ender jumps on the 2-1 pitch and knocks it into right. A base hit right by Votto. The lineup for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks.
Ender Inciarte leading it off out in right field. A.J. Pollock in center field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base with David Peralta cleaning up out in left field. Wellington Castillo doing the catching. Jake Lamb at third. Chris Owings at second. Nick Ahmed at short, and Chase Anderson on the mound.
A.J. Pollock. Always nice to see when you can put the opposing pitcher out of the windup right out of the gate in the first inning. A.J. 304 and 11 home runs. Don't let him settle into a rhythm out there. He can pitch from the stretch. Look, Joey Votto, somebody tell him to eat a sandwich. Look how skinny he is down there.
Yeah, he really looks like he's lost a bunch of weight. He's listed at 221 in the Reds media guide.
I mean, it's startling to see. He is really lean. There goes Inciarte. AJ reaches down and knocks it in the seats.
That could be a subplot of this series against the Reds. Obviously, Billy Hamilton leading the world in stolen bases with his 51. The Reds with 102 pacing the way in the National League. Diamondbacks are second with 94.
A ball and a strike on Pollock.
A little drop down arm angle that time from Iglesias. I guess you could make the comparison with Odrisamer Despaigne in the arm angles. He'll throw overhand, he'll throw sidearm, and every slot in between, and just as he feels it out there on the mound, much like Despaigne down in San Diego. This guy throws a little harder.
Ender holds on the 2-1 pitch. That's away. Iglesias signed out of Cuba just last year. Pitched in the big leagues this season before he pitched at all in the minor leagues. One appearance with the Reds in April. Then he went to AAA for a bit. He did pitch for Cuba in the World Baseball Classic and in Cuba's National Series, but that was mostly as a relief pitcher. Starting is something relatively new for him. This is his fellow Cuban, Yasmani Tomas. That's the outside strike call there. It's full 3-2. Check with Brian Knight, who is our plate umpire tonight. Brian Knight behind the plate. And Goldie on deck. Inciarte takes off. That is ball 4. Brian Pena, the catcher, another Cuban back there, checking in with Brian Knight behind home plates.
Probably asking for a little quicker call on those situations where the runner's in the move. It could be ball 4. Very easy to make a bad throw right there. Gets through into the outfield when the runners are allowed to advance 90 feet on the walk. Phillips got lucky right there. That ball tipped right off the webbing of his glove and dropped straight down. Otherwise, it gets through into center field.
So a good start. Inciarte at second, Pollock at first. Nobody out. Here's Goldie, the Major League's leading hitter at .339. Second in the National League in RBIs and OPS. Pena wants a word here. The Reds, it's a very interesting situation. They traded all of their starting pitchers. They have really reworked this ball club. And you'll notice that they've traded Johnny Cueto, Mike Leake, Alfredo Simon, Matt Latos, none of whom were signed past this season. So now they have an all-rookie rotation. That must be a lot of fun for Brian Price. 5 rookies in their rotation.
We've seen our share of rookies in the Diamondbacks rotation this year, and at times very good, at times still learning. So it's all part of the process for every team, not just the D-backs, not just the Reds.
The Reds had not started 5 rookie pitchers in the same week since 1935. And Homer Bailey, who's out after Tommy John surgery, joked, and he said, well, they're fresh. They can't say they're tired. Jay Bell, Brian Price, couple of former Diamondbacks. 1-1 on Goldie. 2 balls and a strike.
You mentioned Homer Bailey on the disabled list. They're also missing one of their best relief pitchers, Sean Marshall, the big tall lefty. They're missing their starting catcher, Devin Mesoraco, and their starting shortstop, Zach Cozart. So they've had some issues to deal with this year.
Yeah, Mesoraco and Cozart both out for the season. Cozart blew out a knee. Mesoraco needed hip surgery. So Pena's done the bulk of the catching work back there. Missed on the 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Iglesias so far 14 pitches, only 5 strikes. And he's worked himself into trouble.
We haven't talked about it lately, but Goldie's still one of the most deadly hitters in the game in the first inning. A .388 average with 12 extra base hits.
So fly ball out to Bruce in right field. Ender at second will tag ahead for third, and he'll make it. Take a look at the Reds defensively tonight around Raisel Iglesias.
Bird in left, Billy Hamilton in center, Jay Bruce out in right field. It'll be Frazier and Suarez on the left side of the infield with the veterans Phillips and Votto on the right side. Brian Pena doing the catching for Raisel Iglesias.
Who's got runners on the corners and 1 out for David Peralta. David, 281 and 10 home runs. And he has been one of the Diamondbacks' most effective hitters over the last 2 months or so. Really had a good road trip. Almost threw that one to the backstop.
Normally you don't like a shoulder high sinker on a pitch out. That ball just kept running away from Brian Pena that time. Nice firm chest high 4-seam fastball. That one almost went to the backstop.
Base hit. Inciarte scores. 1-0 D-backs.
David Peralta has been one of the hottest hitters for the D-backs. Got fooled just a little bit, but able to extend his swing, still get the barrel of the bat on the ball. Diamondbacks are on the board.
Peralta with runners in scoring position, 8 for his last 17 with 9 RBIs. That's what you're looking for from your cleanup man. And the inning continues for Raisel Iglesias. Pollock at second, Peralta at first. 1 out for Beef Wellington. There's the signs. We figured they'd be out here on this homestand after the road trip that this young man had. Lows never stop improving. Pretty good road trip. 6 wins, you'll take that.
Oh, absolutely. Go to Seattle, a hostile environment for a visiting team. Houston with a great ball club down there in Texas.
Frazier, Phillips, and Castillo hits into the double play, and Iglesias avoids further damage. But the Diamondbacks strike first. They lead it 1-0. Oh, what a day this is going to be. Randy Johnson's number 51 jersey retirement. The ceremony starts at 5 o'clock, so we encourage all fans to be in their seats by 4:30 tomorrow. You don't want to miss a moment here. 5 o'clock is when everything starts, and everybody gets a commemorative T-shirt courtesy of Fry's Food Stores. Then Sunday, Jay Bell, Travis Lee, Orlando Hudson, Reggie Sanders, the whole thing. Your favorites, they're on the field. 4th annual alumni game brought to you by Sanderson Ford. So a big weekend here. Visit dbacks.com for tickets. And it's all set to go tomorrow. That's going to be something else. That's where the 51 will go. Hopefully we'll have cleaned up the zombies by then. I had a date like that once. Went just as well. Marlon Byrd, 245 and 18 homers. Chase Anderson jumps ahead 0-2. Bird's career high 25 home runs set last year with the Phillies, and he's got a chance to pass that home run total this year. A lot of people kind of surprised he's still a Cincinnati Red at the deadline. You would think a contending team would like to have this outfield bat for the stretch run, but here he is.
He's been a pretty consistent performer throughout his major league career. Like a lot of guys, he has peaks and valleys over the course of the season, but usually you look up at the end of the year and his numbers will be right about where you expect them to be. Good, solid fourth outfielder on a good team.
Laces this out toward the foul line, and it's on a play for Peralta. We need a new bat.
I need a new one.
Yeah, Bird is only a few weeks shy of his 38th birthday. But Pirates picked him up just after the deadline a couple of years ago, and he was a big part of their playoff run. .14th major league season. The Reds are his 8th different team and his 4th in 3 years. So he's used to changing addresses.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Still 0-2 on Bird. Chase Anderson, one rehab start during his DL stint, 4 scoreless innings in an Arizona League rookie game. And good zip on that fastball, 95 right by Bird for his second straight strikeout.
A little extra giddy up that time from Chase Anderson. Must be feeling it after a couple of weeks of rest. I think we've seen him hit the mid-90s like that ever.
Well, the Diamondbacks managed to get Chase Anderson some midseason rest last year. You'll recall he took kind of a break there, and that really did seem to help with the zip on the fastball in the second half of last year. The guy that Chip Hale called their horse for most of the first half of the year. Brian Pena, 1-1 now.
What happens when you ride a horse? The horse gets tired.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Chase Anderson ate up a lot of innings in that first half of the season when the rest of the rotation was kind of crumbling around him. He was the most consistent D-backs pitcher, the guy that could get deeper into the ball game than the other guys in the starting rotation, and unfortunately took its toll. Needed to shut it down for a couple of weeks, but looks to be fresh and throwing hard again tonight.
1-2 on Pena. And when you look at Chase Anderson's season, there is a very clear point of delineation there. First 13 starts, look at the difference. A 2.84 ERA, only 3 homers allowed, an opponent's OPS of 650. Then look at that. Previous 5 starts, the ERA up to 9, and the 9 home runs allowed. A roller to Goldie. Anderson covers 2 down. Those numbers, Bob, it would seem anyway to point to, well, it's right there where he started to get tired.
Yeah, pretty clear delineation.
Shortstop, number 7.
And the home run balls, I think, a byproduct of what you mentioned, lack of fastball command, which made his changeup less effective. And, you know, the whole game kind of went away at that point. When he's commanding his fastball, it makes his changeup so much better.
And those numbers to start the year, 13 starts, a 2.84 ERA, only 3 home runs given up. Those are outstanding. Eugenio Suarez, the shortstop, 301 and 5 homers. Only 45 games this year. He's in there for Kozar. First pitch, swinging a high fly ball out to Cincinnati. And Chase Anderson works a 1-2-3 second. He's retired 5 in a row and leads it 1-0. Goldie, AJ, Chip Hale, and the gang will all be back at Chase Field next season. You need to be here with us as well. Purchase a 28-game, half or full season ticket and get the best seats, discounted prices. Go to dbacks.com/tickets for more information. Happy anniversary. How about that? 45 years, and here they are.
Nicely done. Where else would you rather be?
Congratulations. Bottom second, Jake Lamb leads it off. 1-0 Diamondbacks on a David Peralta RBI single in the first. And Lamb at 286 and 4 home runs. And this is the best he has swung the bat since he's been back from the foot injury that cost him half of April and all of May. Jake last 12 games, 375, 6 extra base hits, 7 RBIs. He looked really good on the road trip. Just coming off the bat with that zip on it like he had before the foot injury.
That's a good way to describe it. The ball jumping off his bat now when he makes solid contact. His swing is nice and quick. And for me, one of the tip-offs for Jake Lamb is his follow-through. If his follow-through gets long, that means his swing is long. And his follow-through is real short and abbreviated, almost trying to stop right at the point of contact. Now, naturally, he goes through it a little bit, but that short, quick follow-through, producing those line drives, that's what you like to see.
1-2 from Raisel Iglesias. Doesn't get the inside call there, and it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. This guy is fun to watch. They're excited about him. All the Reds people told us. This guy's got a chance. Just turned 25 years old in April.
He's already got the big league jewelry. Has a solid gold manhole cover hanging around his neck.
Well, he got a 7-year, $27 million deal, and this is just his 9th big league start. Two-two pitch. Reds in the process, says Brian Price, of transitioning Raisel Iglesias from being mostly a reliever on the Cuban team. He worked almost exclusively out of the bullpen into a starter here in the big league. So he's got to get acclimated to being a starting pitcher. But they think he's got the mix of pitches that will allow him to be a guy who can learn to pitch deep into a ball game here at this level. It's not like he broke his back that time. Bruce has it, 1 out.
Sounded like that one got in on Jake just a little bit, possibly broke his bat. That's the longer follow through that time. I think just trying to get through that inside pitch more than anything else. Well, one thing that you don't see Iglesias every day. This is the first time I've ever seen him pitch, but you have to wonder about his mechanics. Boy, he's got a lot of moving parts. He's rocking back and forth on the rubber. His head's moving all over the place. Tough to repeat your mechanics and get your arm into a decent throwing position, but I guess when you throw from as many different slots as Iglesias does, your mechanics aren't as important as your plan of attack.
Yeah, I really like your Despaigne comp. He's all knees and elbows. He's got about 12 different pitches, it seems, 3 different arm angles. One and 1 to Chris Owings.
It's almost sidearm frisbee slider that time. Started it right at the right-handed hitting Chris Owings. Swept it right across the middle of the plate.
Sky high, very short right. Phillips out there. Bruce will take it 2 down.
Fans, when the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, Diamondbacks had 3 of the first 4 reach against Iglesias in the first inning. Since then, he's got a double play ball and 2 flyouts. And here's Nick Ahmed, 229 and 7 home runs. Ryan Pena giving it the old Tony Pena leg extension back there. A lot bigger than Tony Pena was.
Oh, yeah. Well, we saw Oscar Hernandez and Jared Saltalamacchia and Wellington Castillo try to do that earlier this season to give lower targets, especially to the guys in the starting rotation. Mike Harkey and Chip Hale really trying to reinforce how important it is to keep the ball down, and in order to help facilitate that, they had the catchers sitting on a knee, trying to get as low to the ground as they could with that target.
Pena has assumed much of the catching duties this year. Devin Mesoraco out for the year. Surgery at the end of June to repair an impingement in his left hip. He was an all-star last year. But Mesoraco able to play in only 23 games all year and has not played since May 20th.
It looks like Iglesias having some trouble seeing Brian Pena's signs back there behind the plate. He's got the white out on the fingernails, but that time he hung the sign almost up in front of his chest protector to give Iglesias a good look.
Yeah, they're up higher.
You can see Pena really shielding the area between the shin guards with that glove. Occasionally he gets that glove out there too far, trying to block it from the third base coach, and his own pitcher can't see the signs.
He's given the signs from his belly button, basically. 2-2. Need to get some of these catchers one of those little book lights that you read with at night.
Clip it onto your shin guards with the beam pointing back toward the signs.
Yeah, there you go. Missed away, and it's full 3-2. Ahmed spoiling some pitches here. Carl Giordano's on that one.
Hey, our Gold Glovers bar's been set pretty high by the females in DC down the right and left field line. They made some great plays in that 4-game series.
Good reads off the caroms. Yeah. Good range, lateral movement. All you're looking for. That one buckled Ahmed, and he dropped it in there for strike 3. First strikeout for Iglesias, who works a 1-2-3 second. Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. We'll see the speed burner, Billy Hamilton, coming up.
Check out BBTV.
His maximum leadoff, it takes him 3.16 seconds on this particular play against the Cardinals. Now, John Lackey on the mound for the Cardinals unloads the ball to home plate in 1.24 seconds, which is really good. Anything under 1.3 is considered really good for a pitcher. Yadier Molina, one of the best throwing catchers in the game, throws from his knees in a 1.78, which is just ridiculously fast, and Hamilton still stole the base.
Well, as they always say, you can't steal first, and that's been the problem with Billy Hamilton. The on-base percentage is borderline unacceptable, and he's hitting 9th as Raisel Iglesias, the pitcher, bats 8th for Brian Price. And then we'll get a look at Billy Hamilton.
I mean, that example we just gave you from earlier this season, the Cardinals did everything right. Lackey unloaded the ball quickly. Yadier Molina got rid of it quickly. The only way you can get him is if you put the throw right on the base so that middle infielder catches and tags simultaneously.
6 in a row set down by Chase. He's got 3 strikeouts. Well, the best defense is to keep him off base, and that's the way most teams have done it. Hamilton, a switch hitter. He'll bat from the left-hand side, and you see the corners coming in here. Lamb at third and Goldie at first. Billy Hamilton has not hit this year. Just over 220 with 3 homers. He laces one out there toward the gap in left center, and he's aboard. So here we go.
Very quickly before the road race starts, let's do our Valley Honda keys to the game. You got to slow Billy down. Lots of throws to first, lots of changes in rhythm in your delivery to home plate, and always keep an eye on him. Sometimes he'll just turn and take off for second base, and you know what's for dinner. Beef has been red hot for the Diamondbacks over the last 10 days on that road trip.
Hamilton leading the majors, 51 stolen bases, nearly 20 more than the next guy, D. Gordon, and he's only been caught 7 times all year. Brandon Phillips, the leadoff man, grounded out to short his first time up, and keep a very close eye on Hamilton down there.
Got to make him stop. You see, he wants to just keep kind of walking off the bag toward second base, and if pitchers don't make him come to a stop, he'll just keep going.
.56 stolen bases for Hamilton in 152 games last year, so he's going to easily pass that mark this season. A much higher success rate this year. He holds on that one, and Anderson misses away. It's 1-0. I mean, think about Billy Hamilton with that unbelievably gifted speed, but then throw in better instincts, better awareness out there on the bases. That's kind of scary. It means with that speed, he has really improved as a base runner over last year. And now they'll have to get together to figure out how to contain Hamilton over there while pitching to Phillips.
That goes without saying. Wellington Castillo wants to give himself the best possible chance to throw Hamilton out should he decide to run, and that usually means calling for fastballs, but sometimes that's not the right pitch to throw to the hitter. You really have to strike a balance back there behind the plate to execute good pitches to the hitter to try to get him out, but at the same time try to give yourself the best chance to throw out that base runner.
This is what you're looking for. Ahmed Owens, and they roll it. Chase Anderson, that's the way to contain Billy Hamilton. Just roll those double play balls, and he's through 3 with a 1-0 lead.
Major League Baseball history and Diamondbacks history on August 7th, 2010. Luis Gonzalez had his number retired by the ball club. Hangs high above the right field area out there, and soon will be joined by number 51. Oh, what a thrill that must have been for Gonzo. For any player to be recognized, have your number retired, will never be worn again.
And he's been such a tremendous ambassador for this organization. He just spent most of the road trip with us, working radio alongside the governor. Greg Schulte, Tom Candiotti back. And everywhere Gonzo goes, in every ballpark, he knows everybody.
Everybody.
It's amazing. You will not find a more personable guy.
And not just the people on the field, the people that park the cars out in the parking lot, the ushers that work behind the dugouts, the clubhouse attendants, the bat boys. Everybody loves Gonzo.
Chase Anderson leads off the third against Raisel Iglesias and looks at strike three. Second strikeout for Iglesias. It's zombie night here tonight. It's also college night pickup. If I had known it would be that easy, I just, but you got to get your hats in the different collegiate colors.
Oh, I like that. That's nice.
So they got Diamondback hats in all the colors of the local schools. Sun Devil colors right there.
Yeah.
And there's that guy. Beetlejuice in the house. Just said it. Inciarte. Take it all the way. Anders singled and scored his first time. Anders now hit safely in 5 straight games. He had 5 hits in the final 2 games of that series in Washington. It's a little roller up the first base line. Votto's on it. Iglesias covers and quickly 2 down.
Center fielder, A.J. Pollock.
A.J. Pollock walked his first time up. There are all the college night hats. $20 college night cap purchase. You get the game ticket. You get your D-backs cap in your school colors. You get a beer or Pepsi. All that only $20, and you can choose from one of 4 nights, and tonight's one of those nights. I don't see any green and white for the Ohio Bobcats. I'm sure it's just an oversight.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know Derek Hall would want one.
Yeah. I mean, you would think the president and CEO, all of World Series winning manager, broadcaster. There's Derek and his wife Amy.
The Ohio University has a
wait a minute, what?
Yeah, never mind. Has a graduate school of sports administration, which Derek graduated from. And as we travel around Major League Baseball, every organization has a few people that have graduated from that sports administration program at Ohio University. It's one of the best programs in the country.
Now, I have to point out that Derek is first and foremost a Sun Devil.
Well, yeah.
He went to graduate school at Ohio. High bouncer to Phillips. And Iglesias rolling along here. He's retired 7 straight, but the Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. Hey fans, now's the time. Tweet us your best fan photo. Just remember to use the hashtag AZDataStrongFan. That's AZDataStrongFan on the Twitter. And you might just see yourself featured in our Diamondbacks broadcast.
I'm a little fearful for the picture tonight.
Well, it is Zombie Night.
Yeah.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Gonzo still accepting all the applause from his tremendous work on the road trip, picking out the photos. Joey Votto, hottest hitter on the planet right now, leads off the 4th inning. He doubled hard off the wall in dead center his first time up. And Votto hitting better than .470 since the All-Star break. So coming into tonight, I mean, this is unbelievable. A 19-game stretch, .467, 10 extra base hits, an on-base percentage since the All-Star game of .630. And he's 1 for 1 with a double here tonight.
Reaching base 6 out of every 10 at bats. That's just ridiculous. No wonder he's so skinny.
Shift is on again. That one misses, and it's 3-1. I mean, they're .467. Look at that on base percentage. It's insane. And he is the king of the on base percentage and the walks, the whole thing. There's the strike. The poster child for patience at the plate versus production. Tied with Goldie for the league lead in walks coming in. 3rd behind Bryce Harper and Goldie at on base percentage. 3-2. He just does not swing at bad pitches. He walked 3 times in both of his last 2 games. And so far tonight, he's getting on base 1,000% of the time, a double and a walk.
And don't think for a moment that he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt on borderline pitches. Guys that have proven over the course of their career that they have a real good idea where that strike zone is. They don't swing at a lot of bad pitches. If there's a borderline pitch, a lot of umpires will figure, well, it must have been a ball, otherwise he just swung at it.
Gets that Ted Williams treatment back there. Todd Frazier flying out on the first pitch in his first at bat from Chase Anderson. And he is the opposite of Votto. He is really scuffling right now. Frazier's been in an extended slump for the Reds since July the 1st. He's hit barely over 190 and only 2 homers. He was the unquestioned star of the All-Star game with the show he put on in the Home Run Derby on that Monday in his home park, Great American Ballpark. But if you look at the numbers over the last 6 weeks or so, not a whole lot there. He's quickly down 0-2.
Pardon me, partner, but even when he's going good, you'll see Todd Frazier take some of the ugliest swings ever.
Yep.
He'll get fooled by a pitch sometimes and swing straight down and then straight back up, almost like a golf swing at a ball down in the dirt. He'll swing at pitches over his head from time to time. Just takes these unusual looking hacks, but manages to find a way to get the barrel on.
Right there. Yeah, he's been striking out a bunch lately. That's his 13th punch out in the last 10 games.
Good off-speed curveball that time. Down in the dirt away.
I mean, you're going to look at that. If it continues like this over the wintertime, you'll hear a lot of discussion about that. Well, there's another case, Bob, of a guy who was rolling going into the Home Run Derby, and then after the Home Run Derby just couldn't find it anymore. It seemed to have really jammed up his swing. Jay Bruce.
I thought because of the format of the Home Run Derby this year, it was maybe a little bit easier for the participants than it has been in the past. You know, limited number of swings in each round. You can't be taking a lot of pitches.
Now, in fairness, his slump seems to have started on July the 1st, so that's obviously a couple of weeks before the Home Run Derby, but it doesn't seem like it helped. 0-1 on Bruce. He struck out his first time up. And Bruce is another guy who historically has struck out a lot.
Got that little quirk as he gets in the batter's box. He'll raise that back hand up in the air at some point here. right there.
Like you said, it looks like he's calling timeout.
Yeah, when he first got to the big leagues, he was granted timeout a couple of times until the umpires around the league realized that was just part of his setup.
Now Chase Anderson makes Bruce look silly. That's 5 strikeouts for Chase, 2 down.
Nice curveballs this inning to record the 2 strikeouts. One in the dirt low and away from Frazier, and that one dropped on the outside corner to Jay Bruce. Good command, good location, good movement.
Marlon Byrd, a strikeout victim, his first time. Those are some pants. I mean, he's about 2 sizes too big. Check swing almost killed Pena on the on-deck circle. Little check swing right at him. Watch the bottom right of your screen.
Just stepping up into the on-deck circle and nearly walked into one.
Good thing I'm so skinny. Now this is the reenactment here. Yeah, it came right at me.
And you know, I'm sure his teammates are telling him, yeah, that's an ugly finder. That's what they say in the dugout when a foul ball's hit at one of your teammates. Ugly finder.
I resent that. Or resemble that.
Resemble that, yeah.
It is zombie night after all. Votto does not have much of a lead over there. 6 for 8 in his stolen base attempts this year. How about those two? Those two guys might be the best example in baseball of unbelievable strike zone discipline and at the same time power production. I mean, 2 guys that don't swing at balls outside the strike zone. They can crank it up and hit the long ball when they need it. Also willing to take the walks when they think it's appropriate. And they're just not going to get them to chase.
Which has been a point of contention in Cincinnati. Some of the fans, you know, Joey Votto, the dough he's making in the years he has on his contract, the fans want to see him hit the ball in the seats. And, you know, taking some of those borderline pitches, even though many times it results in a ball 4, they want to see him go out of the zone from time to time if that's what it takes to drive in a run, and Joey Votto refuses.
One of the guys who's sort of been beating that drum is the great Marty Brennaman on Reds radio here. He's been very public with the fact that he just disagrees with Joey Votto's approach. He says, hey, he should be driving in runs or paying him all this money.
So far here tonight,
it's over there with the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley, and he's a dandy. But Marty's been very vocal in differing with Votto's entire thing. And Votto, for his part, says, look, I don't understand the conversation. I'm getting on base. I'm doing what I think helps the team. He says he still had high batting averages and slugging percentage, but the on-base percentage, he says, just happens to be the thing that everybody highlights, frankly, because it's so good. Ian Goldie, 2 and 3, right behind Harper. Marlon Byrd making Chase Anderson throw some pitches here. I mean, Votto used to be a guy, home run totals anywhere between 24 and 37, 5 different seasons. He's twice been a 100 RBI guy. But over the last 4 years, those RBIs have gone away. And he's taken some heat, even from the Red Zone announcers about that. Another 1-2 to Byrd.
I will not be the person you expect me to be.
That's a movie line, isn't it?
I think it's from a commercial. Men's cologne or something. I can't remember. It's caused by being from Canada. That's what it is.
Is it?
Yeah. You know, he wasn't raised playing in the sand lot, swinging the pitches over your head.
He was playing hockey.
Yeah. He got into baseball late and said, well, wait a minute. It seems to me like the way to succeed in this game is to get on base as often as you can.
Well, he really became a very analytical hitter as his career went on, and it did suddenly shift from homers and RBIs to on-base percentage and walks. But Brian Price says, look, Votto is really a guy that if you have a hitting philosophy as an organization, this is the guy that he says you would choose as your model. And much of this applies to Goldie as well.
Sure.
You know, it's, as Price says, getting a good pitch to hit, swing at strikes, live to see the next pitch with 2 strikes, as Bird has done here time and time again. Fight your way through those 2-strike counts and get a pitch you can do something with. This is out to Lamb at third. Chase Anderson strands that leadoff walk. Bottom 4 coming up. A big weekend for the big unit. Diamondbacks lead the opener 1-0.
Hoping that the people that are now following me and started following me over the last couple of weeks since I've gotten on Instagram, RJ51 Photos. If you're following me now, you can go back and look at what I posted
on the Instagram tomorrow. Spend all day with Randy Johnson on Fox Sports Arizona, and presented by Hayward Pool Products. At 9:30 in the morning, you'll see the 20 strikeout game against these Reds, followed by the perfect game in Atlanta. At 4 o'clock, a special 1-hour pregame show leading up to tomorrow night's jersey retirement ceremony here at Chase Field. And then right after the postgame, the premiere of Randy Johnson Road to Cooperstown, with behind-the-scenes footage and exclusive interviews, hosted by Lightning Todd Walsh. All day with Randy tomorrow, and it's going to be quite a day here at Chase Field. Paul Goldschmidt leads off the 4th. Diamondbacks lead 1-0.
Yeah, mere mortals, it would be tough to even fill a segment of the pregame show with your career highlights. But for Randy, we have a whole day of programming, and that won't even get all.
And we hope that Randy will be with us at some point during the broadcast if you can make it out here to Chase Field. Don't forget, fans, tickets still available. dbacks.com/tickets. There's a few left. Not many, but you can still find 1 or 2. And it's going to be full here tomorrow, and that is going to be quite a night. And again, try and get here if you can by 4:30. Everything starts at 5. One and 2 on Goldie. Flying out his first time up. Rizal Iglesias has really settled in nicely after a bumpy first inning. He's retired 7 straight. This is high in the air, but headed toward the seats and out of play. By the way, the plaque is here. A replica plaque. No, this is the actual plaque.
Yeah, the actual plaque that's going into the Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum.
And you can come here and have your picture taken with it. I mean, that's tremendous. You don't often get that opportunity. On the cover of Diamondbacks Insider. Yeah, you can take the picture with a Hall of Fame plaque and be part of the ceremonies tomorrow. 2-2. A great example right there, what we were talking about. Goldie not swinging at pitches that aren't strikes. That was a good take on a 2-strike pitch. And he's worked at full 3-2. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Iglesias, who set down 8 in a row. And here's Peralta, who has driven in the game's only run, an RBI single in the first.
Earlier in the ballgame, it appeared like Iglesias was having some issues seeing the fingers of Brian Pena behind home plate. So back, got the bottle of white out and got real creative now. It looks like he's got dots on every knuckle of his right hand. Dots on every finger, and you hang down a 4. Does that mean you're supposed to throw whatever pitch number 12 is?
He's got Morse code on his fingers.
I will say it is easier to see when he hangs the fingers down there.
Well, Iglesias was not able to come to the United States until late in the season last year after getting his deal with the Reds from Cuba. So it had been more than a year since he pitched competitively. His only real action all season last year was 7 relief appearances in the Arizona Fall League. He pitched for the surprise team, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. So there is some rust involved, as there often is with some of the Cuban players. Yasmani Tomas, that was the case with him as well. Hard hit, but right to Phillips. And if you don't have your Randy Johnson gear, you want to commemorate the day. All kinds of RJ 51 items for you right in our team store here in the ballpark. I've myself actually started picking up those patches. All the ballparks we go, I'll usually swing down to the team shop at all these ballparks and pick up a patch. Usually teams have the old school logo, the new ones.
Sewn onto your letter jacket? What do you do with them?
Yeah, they just pile up. It's stupid. I do nothing with them, but they look cool. I put them up on a little bulletin board at home in the office. Like we were in Seattle, I got that. Remember Bruce Bhakti used to play first base for them. They had that old late 70s Mariner logo. They had a patch like that. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll get that. It's like $5.
Well, someday you'll be glad you have that.
You know, Cindy's thrilled. Boxes of the stuff at home. Come home. Hi, I'm home. More stuff. Well, I had these patches, and I got this shirt, and here's some cups.
And gave us a couple bobbleheads on the road trip.
Yeah, got a Craig Biggio Hall of Fame bobblehead in Houston, and of course the Jason Worth Chia Pet. That still not sure what to do with that. Some of your RJ gear here at the remodeled team shop at Chase Field. 0-2 on Wellington Castillo. Just missed. Iglesias started walking off, but Brian Knight didn't bite. The movement on that pitch, right back in that corner. Fooled the umpire. Umpires can get fooled, can't they? Sure, just like hitters.
Absolutely. I mean, especially a guy whose ball moves as much as Iglesias. You know, he might throw a couple of 4-seam fastballs in a row that are fairly straight, and then on the third pitch throw that sinker that moves about 1.5 feet. And you can get fooled just like a hitter can get fooled.
And he can move it in 2 different directions. With that pitch that broke in on Castillo. The previous pitch that he tried to backdoor him on, then that looked like a slider away. One pitch that moves east, the other moves west. Got that one out over the plate, but Castillo fouled it off. Beef Wellington. What a trip. 9 games, 7 starts on the road trip, and he put everybody in beef mode. Hit .400 on the trip with 6 homers and 9 RBIs.
And not a cheapie in the bunch of 6 homers. They were all blasts.
2 off King Felix at Safeco Field. This is with that same pitch, and it's full 3-2. That one is a called strike. That's 10 straight set down by Raisel Iglesias. He's got 4 strikeouts. But the Diamondbacks and Chase Anderson have a 1-0 lead. Brought to you in part by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. So good to be home at Chase Field. Diamondbacks and Reds, first of a 3-game weekend series. And as we start the 5th inning here, Chase Anderson has a 1-0 lead, and Cincinnati wondering what's happened to its offense. The Reds, as of this moment, have not scored a run now in 22 innings. And they're starting a tough road trip. 10 road games in 10 days. Ryan Pena leads it off. They have 3 games here at Chase Field, and then 3 at San Diego, then 4 at Dodger Stadium, all without an off day. Pena grounded out his first time. And as this Brian Price's team start the ball game 10 under 500 and 20 back in the NL Central. Pena laces one into center, a leadoff single. Just the 3rd hit against Chase Anderson.
Well, if you have to give up a leadoff hit, Brian Pena is probably the guy you would pick in this Reds lineup. He is a sluggish runner, to say the least.
Look out. The shortstop, Eugenio Suarez, had a couple of hits in the Reds' loss to the Cardinals yesterday. He's now hit safely in 5 straight, flying out his first time. Doing a good job filling in for Zach Cozart. Strike one. Cozart slipped on a wet base. That's nice. So did he. Cozart slipped on a wet bag trying to beat out an infield single. That was June the 10th. Tore a tendon and ligaments in his right knee. Just blew the knee out. And Suarez was called up from the minors. He started the next day. And Cozart had season-ending surgery. They do expect to have him ready in time for spring training next year. But Suarez has done a nice job. He just turned 24 last month. He's hit more than they thought he would.
On a pitch before, it looked like Wellington Castillo was going to attempt a pickoff down there at first, but as he cocked that right arm back there, he hit the home plate umpire, Brian Knight, and lost the handle on the baseball.
Umpire has to be aware of that, right, and kind of step out of the way if he can.
I mean, once you make the call, most umpires try to back out of the way just in case the catcher is attempting to throw to one of the bases. Hey fans, watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Another 0-2. And that's a base hit for Suarez. So make it 6 in a row now for Suarez, and the first two have reached against Chase in the fifth. Fouled off a few good two-strike pitches there and gets himself a base hit.
Yeah, left one way up this time. Chase Anderson going with that changeup. I love that pitch to be down where guys swing and miss, but when you see it up there above the belt, guys rarely miss those off-speed pitches up there.
Chase had a double by Votto, the second batter of the game. He got a fly ball and a strikeout to strand him. Hamilton had a single with one out in the third. He got a double play ball there. Votto walked to lead off the fourth. He got 3 quick outs. So he's got more work to do here. Pena at second, Suarez at first. No outs, and here's the pitcher batting 8th. Raisel Iglesias. And here come the corners. Goldie's got it. And they force it third. Can they turn it? Iglesias gets up the line. The throw gets by Owings. And Iglesias is out of there at second. Goldie crashed in. Owings covered the bag at first. The throw from Lamb after he got the force on Pena was low. It got behind Owings, but they get Iglesias trying to move into second.
That's why the corners charge hard. Goldie fields that ball almost right in front of the mound. Easy force at third base, and big props to Ender Inciarte to come in and back up that play. How many times have you heard me say this year there's something to do for everybody on every play, even though you're not involved directly? That time Ender Inciarte got himself into a position to back up that play, and he's able to throw out the Reds pitcher at second base.
And they're going to have a look. No word yet if this is a Reds challenge or an umpire review.
The call on the field is that the runner was tagged out.
It's one of those plays where there's no question the ball beat him to second base. It was an accurate throw. The tag was laid down in front of the base, and just a horrible slide by Iglesias. It looked like the tag may have missed him. Now, what is this?
Well, Ahmed's got the bag blocked with that foot. He definitely went 5-hole on the tag right between the legs. But look at Nick's foot. That left foot is on the bag. And that's what Iglesias appears to hit. Big Carapazza, the second base umpire out there. It's another replay review brought to you by Mix One.
drop the old common sense clause on this one. I mean, you could look at the play. I mean, Nick is just waiting there with the ball. He's still 10 feet away from the bag. He may not have tagged him before he got the foot on the bag, but he's got to be called out. You don't get rewarded for a bad slide.
But this is what happens, BB, when you get your replay review. You're starting to look at every millimeter, every single frame of video. And it gets down to that 1/10 of an inch and all that stuff. And you can talk yourself into anything if you look at a play long enough. Suarez was able to make it into third. So he's there. The question is, will Iglesias be at second?
There'll be no error on the play because you can't assume a double play.
Because it would be a 3-5-4. So, well, 3-5-9-6. Right? I don't know.
Yeah. 3-5-4 was the initial attempted double play, but once it got by Chris Owings out into right field, I mean, look at it. He's out.
Well, again, the call on the field always matters because you need clear and convincing evidence to overturn it. And so that's working the Diamondbacks' favor right now. His bench coach Jay Bell. Chase Anderson has thrown a couple of warm-up pitches, but New York is taking a long look.
Maybe in spring training next year, all the Reds base stealers will work on this particular slide. Both legs straight out, both arms straight back.
Just wear a cup.
Yeah, that's textbook sliding form right there, isn't it?
The Brenly sliding clinics. We gotta get that going in the offseason.
I mean, that was one of the things I think most kids, the first time you start playing baseball, you slide and you learn how to slide, you know, just by trial and error. Geez, that doesn't work. If I put both legs straight out in front, I land on my tailbone. That's not good.
He is out at second. So the call on the field stands. There is an error on the play. E5 on the throw from Jake Lamb to first base, allowing Suarez to get to third. So it's a 3-5 force out of Pena at third. Suarez at third base on the E5. Iglesias out at second. 2 outs, and here's Billy Hamilton. Suarez at third, and again with Hamilton up there, the corners are in for the Diamondbacks. There's ball one.
Right now the Reds are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. That follows a trend they've been beating on all year long. They are dead last in the majors, batting with runners in scoring position. The Reds carrying a .211 team average. And the man at the plate, Billy Hamilton, 13 for 80 on the season. That's a .163 batting average with only 1 extra base hit in these situations. You see the defensive alignment for the Diamondbacks. Both corners well in on the grass. Even the middle infielders have shortened up a couple of steps. This is kind of the defensive shift for Billy Hamilton, if you will. They don't move to one side of the field or the other. They just come way in.
2-2 now. The Reds 1 for 20. 1 for their last 20 with runners in scoring position. Again, they have not scored a run now in 22 innings. Suarez at second, 2 outs, or third, pardon me. Billy Hamilton swing and a miss. A wild inning, but Chase Anderson escapes any damage and maintains a 1-0 lead. Pepsi Limon, made with just a hint of real lime juice. It's a little bit of lime and a whole lot of flavor. Pepsi Limon. Pick up yours today. Now available at your local retailer. Diamondbacks trying to solve the riddle of Cuban right-hander Raisel Iglesias, who's retired the last 10 Diamondbacks he's faced. D-backs had 2 singles and a walk to get a run against Iglesias in the first inning. Peralta the RBI. But since then, 10 up, 10 down, and Jake Lamb, who flied out to open up the second, leads off the 5th. Iglesias made his major league debut April 12th. That was in long relief after he signed out of Cuba, and then went to AAA, made 4 starts down there before he came back to the Reds for most of May. Brandon Phillips. And he showed some flashes during the month of May. 8 innings of 2-hit ball in a start against Atlanta. But then he suffered a strained left oblique and had to go on the DL. Came back from the disabled list in early July, and since he's returned, he's gone 1-2 in 4 starts with a 5.16 ERA. But he sure has looked good tonight. Chris Owings. Theo flying out his first time. Seen Chris be more patient up there lately. Always a good sign. One of the things he's worked on with the coaches, Turner Ward, Mark Grace. Suarez at shortstop. DirecTV gives us a look at the NL West standings, and the Diamondbacks, well, they've won 8 of 12, only 3 under 500, and 7.5 at the start of play out of a wild card spot. 9 back of the Dodgers. Giants battling the Cubs as much as they are LA. That's a big series at Wrigley Field this weekend. They're both competing for a wild card spot. Lester was on the mound for the Cubbies today. And they beat the Giants at Wrigley. Nick Ahmed.
Cubbies 7-3 over the Giants at Wrigley this afternoon. Dodgers dropped one to the Pirates 5-4.
You know, that's a case for getting rid of the divisions and going to just an American League and a National League like they had before '68, because you always wind up, it seems, teams from different divisions like the Giants and the Cubs, the West and the Central, really going head to head over the course of the final 6-8 weeks of the year. I mean, you may be fighting for a division title with a traditional rival in your division, but you're really watching even more closely another team for a wild card spot. As Ahmed flies out, Iglesias works a 1-2-3 fifth. He's now retired 13 straight, but it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. trouble, it seems, almost every inning, but he's managed to keep them without a run so far.
He's seen good velocity on the fastball. He's commanded it well, but really it's been about that curveball tonight, dropping it in there for called strikes when he wants to, bouncing it in the dirt when he's been ahead in the count. He's really commanded that pitch well.
A walk and 6 strikeouts. He's given up 4 hits, 3 singles. And fans, we need your vote.
Gotta get some, yeah, baby!
That is the legendary Derek Moore.
Who's thirsty?
We need your vote because Derek, this is like a Cinderella story in the NCAA tournament. He's moving up through the brackets as Brandon Phillips, the leadoff man, leads off the 6th. Derek is neck and neck now in MLB's contest for the top vendor.
Lemonade, lemonade.
He's a finalist along with the Pirates mustache man, which is a guy with one of those old-timey mustaches at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. But he and Derek are in the same bracket. They're going head-to-head. So fans, you have until 8:59 Arizona time to vote at MLB.com. Vote for Derek Moore, the lemonade guy.
You know you want it.
Jake Lamb spins and throws. So you got about just under 45 minutes at MLB.com to vote for Derek.
Lemonade, lemonade like Grandma made. Yum, yum. Gotta get some, yeah, baby.
And his signature call.
You can see Derek at sporting events around the valley all year long. Always with a smile on his face.
We can't lose to Mustache Man. I mean, come on.
He's a nice guy, but that's all shtick. He wears the old-time uniform, and
he's a prop comic.
Yeah,
Mustache Man. He's like Gallagher. He's a prop comic.
For God's
I mean,
sakes.
we can't have that. Joey Votto is doubled and walked. So Derek Moore, vote at MLB.com. You have until 8:59 to vote for MLB's top vendor. And we want to see Derek get the award he deserves. Shift is on for Votto. Now up to 310, 19 home runs. It's amazing how often he works himself into these counts, Joey Votto. Tied with Goldie for the league lead in walks. Actually, he's already walked once, so he's passed Goldie for the league lead in walks. 3rd in on base percentage. And he's got his 2nd walk tonight. Well, Chase has walked 2. Joey Votto both times. A 1-out base runner for Todd Frazier is 0 for 2.
Might be a smart plan of attack. We talked about how hot Votto has been since the All-Star break and how cold Todd Frazier has been. So it seems to make some sense to pitch Votto toughly, bounce balls in the dirt, just off the edges of the zone. If he chases, he chases. If not, you go after Todd Frazier, try to get that ground ball double play.
He's up there hacking. We talked about Frazier since July the 1st. He's hit barely over 190, only 2 home runs. And this was the guy that put on the show with the home run derby at Great American Ballpark that everybody enjoyed, and many people think saved the event and certainly helped it to stay relevant. The new format, all that stuff with the clock. Oh, I just got some bad news. I've just been handed a bulletin. Yeah. Derek is not winning.
Ooh.
He's losing to Mustache Man, but it's close.
Come on, fans.
So right now, Mustache Man, you know, as Bob said, the carrot top of vendors. Just a prop comic. He's got 56%. Derek has 44%. And that's changing minute to minute, and the polls close at 8:59 at MLB.com. 0-2 on Frazier. And this was something else, though. Nolan Arenado, the Rockies' third baseman, was there. He said it was one of the coolest things he's ever seen.
That's especially cool when the hometown boy does it. You know, the Reds fans were really into it, rooting for Todd Frazier. Had his brother out there throwing to him. What a night.
But with the clock aspect now, it's the equivalent of a basketball game buzzer beater, and he came up with that big home run every time as the clock was winding down.
What about that being the rule moving forward for all-star game competitions? You have to have a hometown guy in the Derby.
Oh, I think they'll do that.
Yeah.
Beyond question. They might not put it in as a written rule, but in terms of marketing, it's almost an absolute must.
Because you could clearly see the effect it had on those fans in Cincinnati. That place was up for grabs.
But it was a perfect synergy of a red-hot home run hitter, a small ballpark, some big fans. Called strike 3. He strikes out for the second time tonight. Now 7 strikeouts for Chase Anderson, 2 down.
Fastball command, just a little bit of tailing action brings it back to that corner. Frazier can't do a thing with it.
And that's the command that Chase did not have in his 5 starts before he went on the DL, which the consensus seems to be was a result of fatigue and the workload. But he's got some zip on the fastball, and he's spotting it well here tonight. And as Bob mentioned, that curveball's been outstanding. Bruce 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. That's hard into the shift. Jake Lamb has it and kills it out. Jake Lamb, the shift is on. And Jay Bruce hit right into it. A 5-3 putout. Strands the 1-out walk and keeps it 1-0 D-backs. Our Chevron upcoming pitching matchup. Kevius Sampson for the Reds and Robbie Ray, the left-hander, working on an extra day's rest. Tomorrow, Diamondback Live pregame show starts at 4. The hour-long pregame show, the Randy Johnson number retirement ceremonies fans, start at 5 o'clock tomorrow. And that's going to be something else. So try and be in your seats if you're coming to the ballpark. We expect a full house by 4:30. So you're all settled in and set for the ceremony.
Look for Derek and get yourself a lemonade. Enjoy the ceremonies.
You know you want it.
You know you want it.
Raisel Iglesias has retired 13 straight Diamondbacks. They have not had a base runner since David Peralta's RBI single in the first inning. And Chase Anderson leads off the sixth. He's down 1-2. You see why they like Iglesias so much. And there's the strikeout. That's 5 for the right-hander. And 14 straight retired. Here's Ender Inciarte. Zombie night here at the ballpark tonight. You're not a big zombie guy, right? You don't watch the dead people shows? The Zombies got involved in the Legends race here tonight. I didn't know Gracie was so terrified of zombies. But they got out on the field, and Gracie was this close to a win, his first ever, and then the undead got him. Frazier in on the grass at third. How about Bobby Freeman, or Zombie Freeman, as he's known here tonight?
Bobby, are you with us?
I'm a little concerned. Ender down 0-2.
Maybe he just had open eyes painted on his eyelid, and then he's out there napping.
1-1 is the count. Votto knocks it down, spins the underhand toss to Iglesias covering, 2 down. They stopped there by Votto at first.
Center field,
A.J. Pollock.
Hey fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 20 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game. And we should point out too, we talked about college night. You come out here and get a D-backs hat in your college colors. There's only 3 home Friday night games left this year.
Boy, really?
Yeah.
It's flying by, man.
So you definitely want to get in on that.
It's been a fun team to watch, and when that happens, it goes by quick. AJ's walked and grounded out 0 for 1. They got to hand it to young Cuban Raisel Iglesias. Started off single, walk, fly ball, RBI single. First 4 batters of the ball game, has not had a base runner since. And they are in the process, as Brian Price, of transitioning Raisel Iglesias from being mostly a reliever on the Cuban team into a big league starter. And so far that transition appears to be going pretty well.
This is not following his season numbers, at least if you look at his splits. Usually he's very good early in the ball game and then tends to lose it in the 4th or 5th inning when the pitch count gets up around 75 or 80. But after a shaky start, he has been nails.
AJ blasts that toward the left field corner. That's a fair ball. It's off the wall. And he's thinking 3. No, he's going to put the brakes on. A big turn at second after Marlon Byrd had an issue out there. And A.J. settles for the 2-out double. That's his 24th double. First hit since the Peralta RBI single in the first.
Breaking ball just stayed on the inside part that time for A.J. and he bangs it off that wall out there in front of the Diamondbacks bullpen. As you mentioned, Marlon Byrd had some issues picking the ball up. AJ took a big turn, exactly what you're supposed to do, and decided he was best to just stay in scoring position for Goldie here with 2 outs.
Ends a stretch of 15 in a row retired by Raisel Iglesias. Here's Goldie. AJ at second and 2 outs. Goldie has flied out and struck out 0 for 2. Peralta on deck. He has driven in the game's only run. Diamondbacks tonight have been out hit 4-3, but they lead it 1-0. This young man has done a tremendous job. Ryan Pena wants to get together now. 1-2 on Goldie.
Iglesias hasn't given up much of anything, but that hit by A.J. Pollock, the first hit by a right-hander in this game. Righty's 1 for 12 with 5 strikeouts. Another flat slider on that inside part of the plate. Iglesias hanging a couple of pitches over the inside part to righties in this inning.
He is learning on the job at the big league level, as are all the Red starting pitchers. A rotation made up entirely of rookies. And he strikes out Goldie and strands the runner at second. Through 6, 1-0 Diamondbacks. Oregano's Pizza Bistro, your neighborhood pizza joint. We are athletic supporters. Buy Card Power from Arizona Federal Credit Union. Now that's the power of us. And by Hayward Pool Products. For crystal clear pool water, choose the world's best-selling salt chlorination system, Aquarite. Chase Field, downtown Phoenix. Diamondbacks lead the Reds 1-0. A pitcher's duel here. Chase Anderson and a rookie Cuban right-hander, Raisel Iglesias. Diamondbacks lead at 1-0. Marlon Byrd leads off the 7th. And Diamondback fans, you are doing a tremendous job in helping Derek Moore take care of this mustache clown in Pittsburgh. Derek is making some progress.
Thank you for your mouth. Yeah, baby.
8:59, so you're running out of time here. That's a fair ball. Long throw for Lamb, and he throws out Marlon Byrd.
I mean, you know, you're sitting at home there, you're watching the ball game on TV, your iPad's probably laying right there close by on the coffee table or next to you on the couch. It only takes a second.
Now, it's a little confusing because we looked at this. One more look at Jake Lamb now. Looked at the website during the commercial break. You got to go to MLB.com, and there's the topic bar on the top. Well, on the left-hand side of the topic bar on the front page of the website, as Pena swings and misses there, you'll see news. So you go to the topic bar, top left, you click on news, and that takes you to the cut 4 section, which is a bunch of video cuts, and you can see video of all the vendors. So when you scroll down to the bottom there in the cut 4 section, you'll find the video of Derek Moore, the lemonade guy, and you'll see the mustache guy in Pittsburgh. Pena, deep fly ball to left, but Peralta's there. 2 down. So we have closed the gap. We've picked up about 500 votes in the last 20 minutes or so. Hold on. Where I'm just getting an update now from our somewhat reliable staff. Under 800 votes now. So it was 2,000 votes. He's within 800 now. So you got till 8:59 Arizona time to get Derek Moore a win over the Pirates mustache man. At MLB.com. Click on news, go to the Cut 4 section, and at the bottom there where you see the video clips of the vendors, that's where you vote for Derek Moore.
You know you wanna.
Eugenio Suarez. 0-2. Talked a lot about Iglesias, Bob, the way he's pitched. Retired 15 straight at one point. But, well, you got to love what you're seeing from Chase Anderson.
This is about as good as we've seen Chase for a long time.
Reaches out and makes contact. A weak dribbler to third. And how about this? We are stretching with Chase Anderson at Chase Field.
Yeah, baby! Grandma did it! Lemonade!
D-backs organist Zombie Freeman for the singing of.
Well, as promised earlier, fans, the Brenly Committee has selected the AZ Data Strong fan photo of the game. Hall of Famer. There it is, Lisa.
Can't go wrong.
Randy Johnson Hall of Fame weekend here as we retire Randy's number 51 tomorrow. So thanks for all of you who tweeted in your AZ Data Strong fan photo, brought to you by T-Mobile. That's it for Raisel Iglesias, who was tremendous for the Reds tonight. And to start the bottom of the seventh inning, it's former Brewers great Manny Parra. He's been on the DL twice this year, a strained neck and a sprained left elbow, just back from the 15-day DL on Tuesday. His 26th appearance of the year, and David Peralta will lead it off in the seventh for the Diamondbacks, who lead 1-0. Peralta has driven in the game's only run, the RBI single in the first. Diamondbacks have had only one hit since then, the Pollock two-out double in the sixth. We're chasing down this mustache guy. His lead is vanishing. Hold on, I'm told we're not ready to call it yet with 1% of the vote in. We are told we have passed Mustache Man, but it's really close, fans. Keep voting for Derek.
Don't stop now.
You've got 20 minutes. I got 8:38 now, 8:39. Polls close at 8:59. Derek Moore, the lemonade guy at MLB.com. Yes, he went. Adam Homari down there at third.
Pirates game is over, so you know, those fans are home in bed. This time to take advantage right now, D-backs fans.
A slow roller in the hole. Frazier over to cut her off. One away. Go downstairs to Kate.
Well, guys, as his numbers would suggest, with those 6 homers and 9 RBI in the last 10 games, Wellington Castillo feeling good at the plate. But I had a chance to talk to him to see exactly what was working. And he said it's the fact that the D-backs are backing up their backstop. Wellington admitted to me it's meant a lot to him to have the team stand behind him and know that he gets in a game, has a role with this team. And he said, yeah, having more at-bats is helping his swing. He does feel like he's seeing the ball well. But he knows even when he goes out there and has a rough outing, Chip still has his back. The front office still has it. And he feels like he's really found a home here. And, well, I'll tell you what, it's shaping up at the plate. His hard work's paying off. And, you guys, you know what goes with beef? Lemonade.
I find. So far, Beef has hit into a double play and struck out looking. You look back, Bob. Remember, he started with the Cubs, didn't play much, was in Seattle for 2 weeks, and didn't start great here. He was 1 for 12, 5 strikeouts for his 4 games. But after those first few games, look at this, since June the 12th. 320, 10 homers, the OPS over 1,000. That's a 38-game stretch during which he's hit 320, 9 doubles, 10 homers, an on-base percentage over 400.
I think most baseball people throughout the early part of his career would tell you that Wellington Castillo was an offense-first catcher, that occasionally he'd have lapses behind the plate.
Gives this one a ride, out to right, way back and gone! Beef, it's what's for dinner. He is unbelievable.
It really is. I mean, a little bit of a different twist here tonight. We haven't seen Wellington go opposite field like that. Most of his long home runs have come to left center or left field, occasionally to straightaway center, but this is good to see. Flexing his opposite field muscles. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game doubles the D-backs lead.
He's now hit 7 home runs in his last 10 games. Jake Lamb. He's got 14 homers on the year, 12 with the Diamondbacks. Jake is flied out and grounded out, 0 for 2. Just missed it. By the way, we are told that Derek now has a 1,400 vote lead over Mustache Man, the prop comic of Major League Baseball vendors. So fans, you're doing a great job. Keep going, though. No lead is safe. You still got just under 20 minutes, and if you want to vote and make it easy, there's a link to vote directly on the Twitter page at Fox Sports Arizona. So if you're on the Twitter, just dial up Fox Sports Arizona Twitter, and the link is right there, which is at Fox Sports AZ, and you can vote that way.
I mean, if you've been to a sporting event in the Valley in the last 10 years or so, you've probably come across Derek, or heard him at least.
We show him on TV all the time.
Fans love him.
We started our campaign at 8:15, so about a half hour ago. We were down 3,500 votes at that point. A half hour later, we now have an 1,800 vote lead. So Diamondback fans, you are doing a tremendous job.
If it was only that easy to move up in the wild card standings.
You know you want it. 3-2 on Lamb. In the meantime, Chase Anderson working on a 4-hit shutout in his first start off the DL. He's 6 outs away. 3-2 pitch. Shoots this the other way. Shallow left. Here comes Bird. 2 down. Time for our State Farm Report. Double-A Mobile, how about this? 1 earned in 6 innings. And a 3-0 record with a 1.35 ERA pitching for Robbie Hammond.
Nice roll over his last 3 starts. Deal.
Chris Owens. And of course, with Chase Anderson coming off that tricep inflammation, they're not going to push him. So Daniel Hudson is warming up. Pitcher spot is after Ahmed, who's on deck. CO 0 for 2. He's got 9 hits in his last 12 games. High fly ball to Bruce and right. That ends the 7th. Wellington Castillo tacks on a run. 2-0 Diamondbacks as we head to the 8th.
Tonight's attendance is 26,436. The Arizona
vote for Derek Moore. The Cox Gig Live high-speed highlights are at Gila River Casino. Game summary. It's 2-0 now, and Chase Anderson's night will end after 7 scoreless innings. He gave up only 4 hits through 87 pitches, 63 strikes. Now Daniel Hudson gets the 8th inning.
41st appearance of the season for Daniel Hudson. He's pitched 45 1/3, struck out 45, only walked 19 on the season.
Pitcher spot is 8th in the Reds order. And so Ivan DeJesus Jr. will hit for Parra. And yes, he is the son of Ivan DeJesus, the longtime National League shortstop with the Phillies and the Cubs. Jr. 284 and 4 home runs. He's never really hit much at all in some brief major league stops, but he's been hitting lately. In his first season with Cincinnati, 10 hits in his last 8 games. He is 1 for 8 as a pinch hitter this year. Billy Hamilton on deck. Ivan DeJesus Sr., 15 years in the big leagues, mostly the Cubs and the Phillies. Part of one of the worst trades of all time. Roll to shortstop. Nick Ahmed is there. Remember that? He was Ivan DeJesus Sr. Once traded by the Dodgers along with Bill Buckner to the Cubs in a deal for Rick Monday. And then later, the big one, the Cubs sent his dad to the Phillies for Larry Bowa and Ryan Sandberg.
Who was that second guy?
I mean, Ivan De Jesus Sr. was a very good shortstop, don't get me wrong, but Boa and Sandberg, they were big factors in that '84 Cubs team. Here's Hamilton. And then, of course, years later, Ryan Sandberg resigned as the Phillies manager earlier this year. Corners are in. Hamilton has singled and struck out, 1 for 2.
I was actually a teammate of Ivan De Jesus briefly when he came over to the Giants toward the end of his career. It was one of the oddest things I ever saw in baseball. We're taking batting practice in San Diego at old Qualcomm/Jack Murphy Stadium, and you know, we had just started and everybody's hitting in their groups, and I wasn't playing that night, neither was Ivan De Jesus, so we were in the group with the extra men that hit last on the road. So, you know, time for our group to hit it. Where's Ivan? He was just here a minute ago. Well, he had been released, and I mean, walked off the field, went up to the clubhouse, changed his clothes, and left before our group finished hitting.
I'm out.
I mean, it couldn't have taken 5 minutes for him to just disappear.
Well, 2-0 lead, 8th inning. You want to keep this guy off the bases. And Huddy's ahead 0-2.
Lemonade, lemonade, like your grandma made. You know you want some.
Yeah.
You got 9 minutes, fans. 9 minutes, MLB.com. Slow roller goal. They're going to have to hurry. And they retire Hamilton. 2 up, 2 down for Daniel Hudson. MLB.com, Derek Moore.
Second baseman.
Head to head with the Pirates mustache man in a race to be the Major League's top vendor. Are you kidding me with this? We now have a 4,000 vote lead.
Don't stop.
We were down, what, 3,000 a half hour ago? We're now up 4?
Way to go, D-backs fans.
Wax that, mustache man. Brandon Phillips.
You know, I'm a little fearful, though.
Uh-oh, what?
I mean, we saw what happened with Ralph Kelso. You know, he got a little extra pub, a little extra airtime, and man.
Don't even go there.
Now he's got an agent. He's got people.
Don't even. It's out of control. I mean, I said, you know, Ralph, it's 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's raining out there. What are we doing? Do we need the Ralph Kelso spot on weather forecast? Ralph said, nope, not tonight. Nope. Look, yeah, see, he waved us off. The Ralph Kelso spot on weather forecast. Well, maybe tomorrow. Right to Goldie. Terrific work by Daniel Hudson. 3 ground ball outs. It's still 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks Live presented by CenturyLink. Todd Walsh alongside Joe Borowski. Joe, let's take a leap of faith here. I think Chase Anderson will be our lead. You talked about fastball command. That's what you would be looking at in his return. What have you seen?
We were curious to see just how he would be after his short break right there. But I'll tell you what, Todd, wow, he was dominant out there. We'll break down his outing and show you exactly how he was able to do it.
Joe, are zombies real?
I've seen them everywhere tonight.
Okay, just checking. They creep me out. Steve and Bob, back to you. We'll see you at the conclusion of this one.
Thank you, guys. Look forward to Diamondback Live postgame show following our ball game, which hopefully will be shortly here with a 2-0 lead. Ryan Matthews, the right-hander, is on for the Reds. His 34th appearance, an ERA over 4.5.
We mentioned the rookies in the starting rotation for the Reds. All 5 of their starters in the rotation right now are rookies, but they do have somewhat of a veteran bullpen.
Zombies are real, Joe Borowski. Nick Ahmed leads off the 8th. Pitcher spot is up next, and Aaron Hill is in the on-deck circle. He'll hit for Hudson. And Brad Ziegler, looks like Brad Ziegler, is warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. I always tell by the socks. I always like guys to commit to one sock or another. If you're going to go high sock, low sock, that's a help.
Makes it easier for us to identify them. Yeah. Tell you who really gets us is Ollie Perez, you know, because Andrew Chafin wears his socks up high like that, right up to his knee. And occasionally Ollie will too. Other times he wears his pants down.
They're both lefties too.
Lefties.
It makes it tough.
Yeah.
These are the things that you got to worry about up here. What kind of socks does he wear? Now, how about that? A zombie hit with a foul.
No, I think that's just a fan that wasn't quite aware that the foul ball was coming his direction.
Two. Call, strike 3. Good pitch there from Matthews, and Ahmed strikes out to open up the 8th. Here's Aaron Hill.
Pitching for Daniel Hudson, number 2, Aaron Hill.
Aaron at 208 and 4 homers. Boy, Pena really gets down for a big guy back there. He can really get down low. He is not a small man at 5'9", 240.
Every bit of it.
He's a load back there, but he can get down. Base hit for Hill. Aaron drops it into left center, a 1-out single. MLS Soccer Saturday continues this week. It's the New York Derby. The Red Bulls take on New York City FC, 4 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, sponsored by Audi. Here's Ender and Ciarte. Singled and scored back of the first. He's 1 for 3. Frazier in on the grass at third. That's in the seats. Enders hit safely in 5 straight. He's been grinded up there. He started all 10 games on the road trip. Not a lot of flexibility for Chip Hill among his outfielders, and Ender was in there every day on the 10-game trip. Had 5 RBIs. Polls have closed. The polls have closed for Derek Moore. Well, hold on. I'm being told that you told me 8:59. We're down to the last second.
We still have to count the write-in votes. The absentee ballots.
And coming in from all over the globe. There goes Aaron Hill. Matthews steps off, and they know the throw beat him, but he's in there. It took Matthews a while to step off, turn around, and throw. And the throw appeared to beat Aaron. But Vic Caraponza at second says safe.
To the shortstop side of the bag right there. I think that gave Aaron Hill just enough room to get in underneath the tag out there at second base. Reds stalling for a little bit of time here. I would assume they're having their video guy take a look.
Well, the Diamondbacks have done that consistently since the first day of spring training. They have not let up. You're not paying attention. They're going. Here's a look. And the foot is on the bag. Suarez applies the tag. Stolen base for Aaron, 0-1. Now Inciarte bunting. Frazier barehands and he can't make a play. Diamondbacks continue to apply the pressure with a 2-0 lead in the eighth. The base hit for Inciarte. He's 2 for 4.
Take a perfect play by Todd Frazier to have any chance to get into first base. That's that do or die play down there at third. You just try to make the barehanded scoop and throw in one motion. Frazier just fans on it. Right off the fingertips.
The single, the stolen base. The bunt base hit moves him along. Tough play for Frazier. It's Aaron Hill at third, Ender Inciarte at first. One out. Here's A.J. Pollock, who has doubled and walked. 1 for 2. I can now, fans, boy, Diamondback fans, you guys are the best. We started at 8:15. Derek was down about 16,000 votes to 13 and change. We blew Mustache Man out of the water. Derek finishes with just over 22,000 votes. Mustache Man about 17,000. Inciarte off with a pitch, but that one's foul. So it's 0-2. So we can confirm that unofficially, this is unofficial, but we have the utmost confidence. Confidence is high, in the words of Ralph Kelso, that Derek Moore has won by more than 8,000 votes. Ooh. A convincing win over the Pirates' Mustache Man in the contest for Major League Baseball's top vendor. So thanks to all of you who voted in the last 45 minutes. A tremendous job.
Nicely done.
Really well done. 0-2 on AJ. And there goes Ender again, and again AJ fouls it off. That got him in the foot. It's been drama on the field, drama off it. You got zombies walking around, and a lot going on here. College night, good Friday night at the ballpark.
We got fireworks coming up after the ball game. It just doesn't stop.
And then Snake Talk right after Diamondbacks live postgame. Snake Talk is back in action on the radio side. Joe Borowski, Todd Walsh on the TV side. Diamondback live postgame show. And once that's over, flip over on the radio and get some Snake Talk. See what Jeff Munn's been up to during the break. Another 0-2 pitch. Ender holds this time, and again AJ fouls it off.
Other than bragging rights for being the best vendor in Major League Baseball, I wonder if there's any monetary rewards, or a trip somewhere.
Got to be something, right?
Glass of lemonade, something.
You know you want it.
You know you want it.
Have to get our staff on that. Try and find out exactly what the prize is, other than just the prestige. Ooh, close one there right at the belt. But ball one, says Brian Knight. Brad Ziegler ready. He's got his work cut out for him. Votto, Frazier, Bruce do up 2, 3, and 4. And Marlon Byrd behind him. There goes Inciarte, and again AJ fouls it off. Ender's running wind sprints down there. Good pitchers duel here tonight. The Cuban rookie right-hander Raisel Iglesias at one point retired 15 straight. Chase Anderson was tremendous. 7 scoreless innings. He gave up only 4 hits. Had 7 strikeouts.
You can see why the respective organizations are excited about the future of both those young pitchers. Iglesias was outstanding, as was Chase Anderson tonight. Really good to see. First start back off the DL for Chase.
We'll try this again on 1-2. Inciarte holds, and they throw over to third. It's a pretty well thought out play there by the Reds, but Aaron Hill was close to the bag.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that fake to third, wheel around and throw to first anymore. That play has been outlawed, but this is perfectly legal. It's like a left-hander throwing to first.
That was clearly deceiving the runner. The rule was up there for years and years, and finally they got rid of it. 1-2. There goes Inciarte again, and guess what? AJ hits himself in the foot again. Ender's getting a little tired down there. Hey fans, Hayward Pool Products sponsors Diamondbacks baseball. Hayward Pool Products, enhancing the pool experience for over 80 years. It was great to get back home last night and jump in.
Oh, outstanding.
Cell phone lights are flashing. Inciarte takes off. AJ lines it right to Suarez. So we go to the 9th inning. AJ's yelling at, looks like Suarez, the shortstop.
I think it might have been the pitcher Matthews.
You're right.
Some words back and forth there.
In any case, Brad Ziegler is on with a 2-0 lead. 9th inning coming up. CenturyLink your link to what's next. Votto, Frazier, Bruce. 2, 3, and 4 in the Cincinnati 9th. Ninth inning, Brad Ziegler on with a 2-0 lead. Diamondbacks opening up a quick 6-game homestand. First of 3 against the Reds. A chance to get back to within 2 of 500. And they turn to their closer, 19 for 21 this year in save opportunities, but he's got his work cut out for him. Joey Votto, Todd Frazier, and Jay Bruce are due up 2, 3, and 4 in the Reds' 9th. And the Diamondbacks tonight have yet to retire Votto. He has doubled and walked twice. He's going to bunt away from the shift. But it's 0-1.
Thank you. Well, I'll tell you, Nick Ahmed was not fooled at all. He saw Votto shorten up on that bat and came streaking in from his position. We've seen him make great plays with this exaggerated pull shift, fielding bunts on that left side of the infield.
Another look.
Yeah, I noticed Nick's angle was more toward the third baseline so that eventually he could square up and get his momentum going back to first.
Now he rolls one right into the shift. Chris Owings for the outfield grass. And that's one away.
Third baseman
Todd Frazier 0 for 3. He struck out twice. Back with you tomorrow. Special hour-long Diamondback Live pregame show. We will show you the Randy Johnson jersey retirement ceremony. And then it's Robbie Ray and Keavia Sampson. Frazier laces one to Peralta. Drops in front for a base hit. And now the Reds will get the tying run to the plate with 1 out.
right fielder Jay Bruce.
Arizona Federal Credit Union Power Player of the Game. We can now officially report, and I'm reading directly from the MLB.com website, the people have voted. And Major League Baseball's top vendor is Arizona lemonade guy Derek Moore.
Nice.
Grandma did it! Lemonade!
See, it's starting already. Derek now has an entourage.
Chicks dig the lemonade guy.
That's right.
A nice job by Diamondback fans. You guys did a tremendous job.
Well, as usual, the Diamondback fans come through every time you ask them to do something. I think back to that game after the tragic Yarnell fire a couple of years ago when the 50-50 raffle got up to over $100,000.
That was one of the proudest things I've ever been a part of here.
So cool.
Brad jumps ahead on Jay Bruce 0-2. Bruce 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts.
Not ending it on a double play. That's Brad's signature pitch. Anything that results in a ground ball double play. He's got 94 of them since 08. The next closest is Jim Johnson with 70.
Shift is on. He did not go. Adam Hamari down at third. Jay Bruce been a big RBI guy, 32 RBIs in his last 41 games for the Reds. He is the tying run at the plate. 1 out in the 9th. Struck him out, 2 down. Bruce punches out for the 3rd time.
You know, we talk a lot with all the youngsters on the roster about their evolution and making adjustments and learning at the big league level. I tell you, since Brad Ziegler started throwing that changeup more often to the lefties, that has been a wicked weapon for him. That flat slider, his other off-speed pitch, is coming right into the middle of a left-hander swing, so he worked hard and now has a really usable changeup.
Marlon Byrd 0 for 3. Goldie will play behind the runner at first. There's the ground ball. And there's the win. Diamondbacks blank the Reds 2-0. Brad Ziegler once again shuts the door, and the D-backs have won 9 of their last 13 games. They open this 6-game homestand with a win, back to 2 under 500 for the year.
Just enough offense tonight. Both pitchers, both starting pitchers on top of their game tonight, and good to see the Diamondbacks break through with 1 in the 1st, and then the Wellington Castillo daily home run in the 7th gives them their 2-0 margin of victory.
Isaiah Iglesias, the rookie right-hander, was tremendous for the Reds. He retired 15 straight at one point, but boy, Chase Anderson, what a return from the DL. 7 scoreless innings. He gave up only 4 hits. and struck out 7. A nice pitcher's duel here, 2 hours and 33 minutes. It's a 2-0 Diamondbacks win, and Joe Borowski is standing by with Todd Walsh. Todd.
Thank you, Steve. Coming up in a matter of moments, Diamondbacks Live presented by CenturyLink will begin. Joe, we've got lots to get to. It's a great night here. Diamondbacks are back in town. Randy Johnson's Hall of Fame plaque is here. Zombie night. Chase Anderson returns. Wellington Castillo hits a home run. And the lemonade guy wins, right?
Hey, I voted for him.
How?
I used your iPad.
Okay. Mr. Technology. Okay, so we look forward to hearing from Chase Anderson for sure. I know you'll break down his performance again. Those guys, I'm telling you, I'm just glad that part of the night is over. I know that. That's what worries me. You got to kill the brain. All right, when we come back, Kate Longworth will be on the field. She'll help us start off. That's live. And then we'll get reaction from Chip Hale, as we always do, and inside the Diamondbacks clubhouse after this 2-0 win in Game 1 of the series and homestand. Stick around. More to come from Chase Field in a moment.